Bat Force Radio.
Bat Force Radio is rated M for mature, or should that be immature?
Hey guys, Dustin Wynn.
Hey, this is Scott Snyder.
This is Paul Dini.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
And you're listening to Bat Force Radio.
You're listening to Bat Force Radio.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and you're listening to Bat Force Radio, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to Bat Force Radio, the Batman and DC podcast with no limits. We took a bit of a break in November after a busy October that included episodes with Matteo Scalera, Jason Fabok, Katana Collins, Sean Murphy, Brad Anderson, and our third annual Halloween Spooktacular with Kelly Jones. So we took some time off, but we're back tonight, and with us are Grandpa Batman in Texas.
Yes, I'm here.
Jesus in New York.
Believe him.
Force Tom in California.
Howdy.
And the Bat Force Times in New York.
Hello.
And I'm Robin Cross in Canada. And not only are we back tonight, but we are joined by a man who is equally recognized around here anyway for pranking Tom King as he is for creating some of the best art in comics, most recently on titles like Batman and Heroes in Crisis. This month, he gave us the first issue of Batman Catwoman, a 12-issue series written by Tom King and colored by Tomeu Morey that will continue the story of the relationship between the titular characters that began in Tom King's 85-issue Batman run. Most importantly to some of us, the series has also introduced Andrea Beaumont, a.k.a. the Phantasm from Batman Master of Phantasm, into continuity. He is sometimes known as Crosby Montana, but tonight we'll call him Clayman.
Nice.
Clayman. Clay, how you doing?
I'm okay.
How's life been for you lately?
Same old, and that's a lie, but I'll just say that. I do work a lot. That's the same.
Yeah. And you're staying healthy over there?
No, not at all. I've gained quite a bit of weight and stay indoors a lot. So.
Yeah, it's like all of us though. So yeah, you're not alone on that one. We just don't get to draw some of the best looking books in comics, so you got a leg up on us there. But since the last, as I just said, since the last time we talked, you've been working probably most of that time on this Batman Catwoman story with Tom. Now this evolved a lot because it was originally going to be the final issues of Tom's Batman run before he ended up stepping away from that prematurely. But with the inclusion of Phantasm coming in here, I know that Phantasm existing in the story was largely because you wanted her, maybe exclusively because you wanted her. But how much of the story we're getting was built around her involvement, and how much of it was just the way it was going to be anyway?
I will say she's in the book because I wanted her in the book, so exclusively that way, but like Tom was okay with it. And I know things are going to happen in the book that Tom would have done in his 100 issues, but other than that, other than a few things, I'm not 100% sure what Tom's grand scheme was. I know what his grand scheme was, but I don't know how much it switched up going into this series, to be honest.
So I know from things that Tom and maybe yourself also were posting online in sort of the earlier days of creating this story. At one point, it wasn't maybe as big a deal as it became, because I remember there was talk that there were going to be some other artists, probably, I assume, Mitch and Evan were going to be drawing issues in the series, but then it eventually got to the point where you guys decided, okay, no, this is going to be something special, and the two of us are going to do this whole thing together.
Yeah, I mean, I just think with it being 12 issues and like, I mean, when Tom found out he was going to do Batcat, I still had the 2 issues that were in the City of Bane. I think it was City of Bane, whatever they called it. Something Bane. The basically the Magnum PI issues.
Yeah.
Right.
I hadn't even started those. So, and then they were announcing it for like a January or something, and just the math seemed really wrong. So yeah, someone would have had to come in and help, and I think what also helped with me doing all 12 is that I just got a really late start. So I'm like, well, you guys got to wait for me anyway. And this story had to do with Christmas, and I'm like, then it was going to get pushed to like summer. I'm like, why would a book come out in summer that has to do with Christmas? Like, I'm just like, no. Like, I know it'll span a year and it'll cross through Christmas, but I'm like, why not start it in the season that it's started, like, and then end in the season? It's like, I don't know. It's not going to go through different holidays. It's staying like December, New Year's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. There was a whole bunch of different reasons why that happened, and you know, I'm glad to be doing all of them. You know, when I look back and it's all collected together. I mean, I do that like with Heroes in Crisis. It's like I didn't draw 3 of them, and it's, you know, I don't know.
Are you happy that he's not giving pages to like Frank Miller's dumbass or something like that?
Frank Miller?
Like
Who
how
is
he
that
did
guy?
with
Who is that
exactly. Thank you. God, fucking finally someone says it.
Why would you say that, Tom?
Yeah.
Because it was just so sad when Tom gave some pages to Frank Miller the last time over Clay. I'm still upset about it.
If I drew 300 pages and Frank Miller drew 1, Tom would be like, I worked with Frank Miller.
Oh God, he's not even here to defend himself. That's the best part.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh man,
I mean, it makes sense. I get it.
Get him going off on Twitter. So one of the things that I didn't realize was going to happen in the story that I picked up on, obviously, reading issue 1, was not only does this story follow the present day story where it left off at the end of Tom's Batman run, but it also follows the story from Batman Annual number 2, the Date Nights and Last Rites story that showed us the future where Bruce had, and eventually died as an old man, leaving as his widow, and their daughter Helena was filling the role of Batman in Gotham. So we're kind of getting those time jumps and some really unexpected things that we saw just in issue 1 already.
Yeah, that happens.
I don't think most people expected to be opening that issue, and spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't read it yet.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think most people expected to see Selena showing up at the home of an advanced age Joker who's just living as a normal person, and she was showing up there to kill him.
That was fun to see. That was fun to see, like, who it ended up being, because I'm sure you probably did it on purpose to try to make people guess, but I was trying to figure out who the fuck it was, and I was like, oh man, who is that? And it kind of like, you kind of made him look like a skinny Burt Ward, like, you know how Burt Ward looks like now. But so I was just trying to figure out, I'm like, who is this guy? Who's she talking to? Is it like Damien, or who is it? So that was fun the way you did that.
Yeah, I want to look at clues and things, like, and after knowing who it is, I was sort of, maybe I was just trying to make up clues But like I looked at the couch, like, oh, the couch sort of has a pattern that's reminiscent of Joker's shirt in Killing Joke, but I was probably just
I'm gonna go back and look at that.
That wasn't on purpose. If that's
Psychologically.
Just
I was
create.
just going with tacky old Florida.
Yeah, you nailed that for sure. Maybe that's why it looks like Burt Ward.
But you would be an expert on doing that, though, right?
You're tacky old Florida. I mean, I know what Florida looks like.
That's what I'm saying.
So Clay, I have a question.
Yes.
Have you read? And I know some of the process, with how writers and artists. But have you read all 12 scripts of all issues? And if so, does that influence how you build your art and your stories and panels?
I've read up to 7.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how much that really. I don't know if that changes at all. I love knowing what's going to happen in different issues. I would say there's something about that really helps when I'm drawing.
Right.
It's not ordinary that I get to know what's going to happen that far in advance. And as an artist, look, I know writers try hard. I know a lot of writers, do their best, but they don't fill all the gaps in. So when an artist knows what's coming, they can do, a lot of unscripted work in the panels. So that's really nice.
Mm. Now that you've read ahead up to 7 issues, is there anything coming that may lead to more death threats on your guys' behalf?
I mean, I already. No, I don't care if Tom gets death threats. I'm pretty safe. I mean, I feel like there's some people who I read on Twitter that Clayman shouldn't be allowed to draw.
Oh.
But I know who's saying that stuff, so it doesn't really bother me. But I don't care. I mean, Tom's the writer. I mean, any writer get all the credit anyway. I mean, anything that happens in here, it should just be blamed on the writer.
Oh fuck! You didn't get any heat last time.
For what?
What was it that people were? I feel like there was 2 different waves of death threats, wasn't there?
I've never got any threats to do a story, and if I did, I'd just laugh it off because I'm like, I didn't write it.
Yeah. So you take zero blame. You take zero responsibility. I love it.
I'm sorry to say, but if the story sucks, it's not my fault. Seriously. If you're like, the art sucks, Tom can't be blamed for that. If the story sucks, how on earth can I be blamed for that? It's not my job.
Well, you blame Tom for the art sucking if you did one of those sketch covers on it.
Oh, true.
That he does at cons.
Yeah, there's a couple artists who like to draw now, but I'll zip my mouth.
Frank Miller. Ugh.
Frank Miller, dude. Okay, look, that guy did some good art. I mean, his Sin City, that stuff, that black and white, I've never read it, but I mean, I know you think I'm a Frank Miller hater. I'm not.
Who was it? There was another artist that
one that is where this Frank Miller talk is stemming from the last time Clay was on and giving Tom a hard time. So
because like I said, I can draw 300 pages and Frank Miller can draw 1, and you're gonna hear his name first.
Oh God, what was it that there was another artist that someone? I think this happened in person where someone was talking shit. Oh, Liefeld. Yeah, I think it was
Liefeld though. Yeah. What did he say? What happened?
No, I was just I was trying to remember who it was that you were also kind of backing up, and I just realized now.
Rob Liefeld, back him up all the time.
Have you checked out his podcast by any chance?
I loved it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, you didn't think I would?
Well, I don't know. I haven't heard it myself, so it would just be interesting to hear.
I'm really behind, but man, I was addicted to some of them. I don't really care about the subject, but some of them going, like he did one on Heroes Reborn. It was like a few episodes. But I love it because he talks about money, he talks about contracts, he talks about all this stuff I'm interested in. Like, and it's just fascinating. And it's like, man, I got into comics like 10 years too late.
Yeah, he's not one to filter anything, so he kind of shoots from the hip, and like he has literally no filter. He just says whatever's on his mind, and that could rub people the wrong way, or you could love him.
I think I'm more of I love him because the dude gets a lot of crap, and I don't go, so what, he's confident. Well, I'm not confident, so I like to hear it. And the guy's got a story to tell, and it's fascinating. I mean, I know a lot of guys, I won't name names, but like, oh, he's a one-hit wonder. Oh, he's just living off his his past or whatever. And I'm like, and so what? Like,
true.
Who? It's like, you want to hit your prime at the end of your life, or you want it in the beginning, and then just, let's say he's coasting like everyone says he does. I want to hit my prime in the beginning. I want to coast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the 90-year-old driving a Porsche.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to peak at like 5 years old and just coast from there.
Yeah, and I don't think he's coasting. I'm just like, the dude did a lot of work, and he's got some. I mean, I think he's got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I mean,
is it a free podcast, or do you have to like subscribe?
I just listen on Spotify, so I'm assuming it's free.
Oh, okay.
But like the Heroes Reborn stuff, he goes into like these $1 million contracts. He goes into like just the shuffle of Marvel and bankruptcy. I might like, this is like soap opera stuff. It's so good.
Yeah.
Did you see a year or two ago, AMC did a mini series called Robert Kirkman's History of Comics, and one was all about that Image stuff. And yeah, they talked to Liefeld and McFarlane and Jim Lee and all the guys that Mark Silvestri and everything that were all part of the beginning of Image, and they were telling the stories of how everything shook out back then, and they went as far as telling the story of when like all the other guys except for Rob were having a meeting together basically about what they were going to do with Rob. So they were having a meeting at this hotel, and Rob knew they were having the meeting, so he rented the room next door to them, and he was like listening under the door while they talked about him or something. And you can't.
I want this guy to be my best friend, and I want to be with him when he's doing this, because that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he goes in the podcast, he's talking about how they're like, I think they were suing him, and he's just going into all. I mean, it's just like, I would have been his best friend in the 90s for sure. And for sure.
They can make a TV show about all that stuff, like that whole era and like what happened when they started Image and everything. That shit would be like a super sweet like drama on like HBO or something.
Yeah.
And get a ton of viewers too, like just everybody who's interested in that stuff.
Well, I mean, to me, that's how entertaining this podcast can be. I'm behind, but I just like it. He talks about stuff that is super entertaining to me.
There's not enough of like guys like that who are who have had like a big impact and who are able to kind of share like their experiences and stories. Like there's him, there's Todd Todd does his thing too on social media, but like I wish more of these guys would start like their own shows or podcasts, because like their stories are so, their perspective and stories are so awesome, and it's just like another world that like you get to learn about,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
You're also talking about a guy that was like 25 years old at the time. He was.
I know.
Believe him.
That's the thing. Like, I did another podcast, and I always argue with this guy. I met him, and we joke around, argue about Rob, and I'm just like, and he'll say all this stuff that's kind of negative, and I'm just like, do you realize how old this guy was when he started making millions of dollars. He was a kid.
Yeah.
Managing people and shit.
What would a kid do with millions of dollars? Are you kidding me? He survived that?
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
I've got nothing. I mean, he's pissed me off too. He's pissed me off. Like his hate for DC annoys me sometimes, but I'll still listen to him all day long.
Yeah, and he got into it with Scott Snyder like 5 years ago or so.
Yeah, but that's because because Scott Snyder thought he was the crap, and Rob said, "Well, that's because you write Batman." And
yeah.
Scott Snyder has talent, or he wouldn't be around. But like, also, you write Batman. I draw Batman. I'm 100% going to tell you that fame, or whatever you want to call it, comes with Batman. Why would you deny that? It's so stupid. But anyway.
Yeah, no one remembers like the shitty Batman stuff. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. I don't, but
I mean, Batman's gonna sell. Right now, he's gonna sell. I mean, the last few years, he's the seller. So you could put anybody on. Take a nobody. I mean, Tom King did Vision and got put on Batman, and he became someone everybody knew. That's not, that's Batman had a part in that.
Yeah, Tom is a good example of that, because Tom went from he got a great reception to the Vision book, but then fast forward 2 years later, and he's on Seth Meyers.
that's right.
Comic writers are going on late night talk shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't. I mean, I'm not denying people their talent, but I'm also not denying. I mean, you cannot deny the power of the character.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anybody that you feel like you haven't done yet that has like that impact?
Drawing?
Yeah, like anybody that you're like, fuck, man, I want to get on like this character. Like, just give me one shot.
I don't think. I just don't. At DC, I don't think. I mean, who are their most popular characters? Even if you go to Superman, his sales don't. His sales don't prove anything.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, same thing. She's under Superman. So no, I don't think there's just not a lot of characters that have that power. I feel like at DC it's Batman, and at Marvel it's an event. So I just don't. Yeah, not really. I mean, there's characters I love. Like if I ever went back to Marvel, my only interest would be X-Men. But I don't even think they sell like, what they did.
That's crazy too.
Same thing, like when it's an event, like they had they stopped all the X-Men books and let Hickman do the House of X and Powers of X stuff. That stuff sold really well, but it eventually becomes just like the previous runs of X-Men, when they started up the X-Men Blue and the X-Men Gold, and then all of the separate characters got their own solo series going again. They all just fizzled out, and then they scrapped all of it and let Hickman do this new thing, so that they could ride it for as long as it does well, and then they have to start it over again to get that interest back, get the sales back again.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not reading the X-Men right now. They just live in my mind. They live in my memory. They're the best characters ever. Better than Batman, but again,
damn.
That's well, I don't know.
What was your favorite X-Men run?
Run? I don't know, because when I first started reading it was Generation X. Not like reading, because I bought comics for art only. Never read them, and then Generation X was the first one I read, and I was obsessed. No, I literally, they just live in my head through the art, and then if the story was even remotely okay, the art did it for me. So I'm all, I'm just, 90s Jim Lee.
Yeah.
That's my X-Men: Gold, Blue, Joe Madureira, all the way up to him. And that's when I was getting out of high school, and then when Joe left, I couldn't even tell you what was after that. So from Jim Lee to Joe Mad, I was like obsessed with X-Men, and that's elementary school through high school. So
It's a damn good time. Who would you say is like your favorite comic artist?
I mean, it switches. I'd say when I'm obsessed with the Image guys. Not all of them, but like Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, and Eric Larson. Those four. When I first got into comics, and then then I started like Arthur Adams. I just started finding out who these people were, and then when like J. Scott Campbell and Joe Mad came on, like I was obsessed with those two, and then kind of stopped caring about the Image guys just because I thought Madureira was doing some crazy stuff, and then now I'm going back to liking my Jim Lee and J. Scott Campbell, those kind of guys the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that influence in some of the pages in Batcat 1, especially like that image where Batman and Catwoman are standing on that big gargoyle that looks, that is such an awesome page.
Thank you.
I just want to know how many hours did it take to make that panel?
The page, the gargoyle one?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, 12 hours in.
No, I mean it would have been. That's more than a day because it would have taken me a day to draw it, and then at least a day, like to ink it. I don't do a page a day.
Now, did you do this book traditional style or digital?
I want to make a joke. Traditional.
Okay.
Damn. Did you colored it too?
No.
No, duh. It was Tomeu. I'm so stupid. I'm not gonna even edit that part. I don't care.
Now, we did say that we were gonna save this stuff for on the episode, so I'm gonna start it off now. But you're one of those. It seems to be a pretty rare case where you'll see an artist work with a colorist, and once you see them work together a few times, like, us as readers, as consumers of your work, we don't want to see you work with a different colorist after. Like, okay, this is going to be the pinnacle. Just let's keep these guys working together for as long as possible, and that's what we've had through Heroes in Crisis and on Batcat here. Just the stuff you guys do together is absolute top of the food chain.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Heroes in Crisis was going to start, they were going to give me another colorist, and I'm not going to name the person, but nothing against them, but I'm like, I wanted more for my art. I just wanted it fleshed out more in colors, and Tomeu did some of these covers for Superman, and it just blew my mind. Like, I would see something he colored that only I know I'm the only one who was noticing, and that was special to me. So yeah, I begged for him to be on Heroes in Crisis, and they're like, we already hired somebody, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do Heroes in Crisis with this person. I want this guy. And I begged, and I wrote an email, and I gave all these reasons. I put like examples in, and
wow.
And they're like, wow, this is like, they felt like in a weird situation because they just was like, you've never said anything. And I was like, well, I came on to some of these projects as a fill-in, and I'm not going to like complain, but I'm like, if I'm starting a new project, I want a colorist I want.
Right.
And they gave them to me, and I remember when the first few pages came in, they're like, oh, we totally see what you're talking about.
Right.
Suck it, DC.
Yeah, I mean, and he's such a the dude is such a hard worker. Like, if you need, like, I try not to ask for changes, but if I do, guy doesn't complain. I notice stuff like him coloring little things in the background, and I'm like, this dude is not lazy. I don't know. And I like it. I mean, that's my favorite part of the job, is seeing my stuff colored.
That's
the only time it's special for me. So like, I get all this joy out of it, and I want someone I'm working with who I get that out of. And like Brad Anderson, he's colored me. I get the same thing with him. I think he's awesome. You know, Tom's kind of old fashioned. He's like, oh, I think some of your inks disappear, and I'm like, but look at all that color. But like, yeah, oh well.
How does it work with your stuff? Like, you have the original, like inks and stuff, right? And then it's all scanned in, and then it gets colored over it.
Yeah, I just scan them. I send them. I just email them to him, and the guy colors it.
Like, do you ever? I don't know if this is like super conceited, but like, do you ever print out some of the work that they do, like, and have a print of it just because you fucking like it so much, and it's so crazy to see like their colors on your stuff? So like, you put it up like a poster.
I have never hung up a single drawing of mine.
Really? See, that's like that's. So now I can't draw.
I will say Tomeu colored a splash in Heroes in Crisis with Flash standing in a field of flowers.
Yeah.
And my art guy made a print of that, and I did take it because I'm like, I like the drawing, and I just really liked the way Tomeu colored it, and I'm like, I might hang that up on the wall one day.
Is that weird? Like, is it because it's your stuff? It's like you feel weird like hanging that up?
Yeah, I feel weird because I'm just like, yeah, I just don't like it enough to hang it up. If I hang it up, it's more for a memory or like what. I mean, when I see a drawing, I just remember doing it, and I remember the crap going on when I drew it, and I just see what I would draw different presently about it, and I just don't get any. I don't get anything out of it.
It just it drives you crazy because you're looking at like the.
It's kind of like a singer hearing his own voice, you know. It drives you crazy.
I mean, there's some people who do it, and I'm just I guess that. I mean, I get that. If I'm hanging something up, I've seen these Batcat posters, and I'm just like, I might hang that up because it has a DC logo on it. It has the big logo on it. It makes me feel like I'm actually doing something remote, kind of important, kind of cool, and it feels like a comic shop. But as for like original art, you will never see that on my wall ever. Never, ever, ever.
So is it like, because it feels like then, because every artist is different, and is it easy then for you to like work on, fuck man, like you spend so much time working on this stuff and you draw it obviously and you pour months and months into it, and then it's nice obviously to like be able to sell it, it's your work. Is that hard for you at all to like let go of a page, or are you like, fucking get it out of here, I don't want to look at that anymore?
No, that's different. That's a lot harder to give away.
Oh, okay. See, yeah.
Yeah. I actually don't like selling my art because I same thing, I don't want to put it on the wall where I'm saying I can remember everything that went into it. I can remember everything I was thinking and doing when I drew it. The same reason I don't want to get rid of it. Because I'm just like, I mean, my art's a lot more expensive than it used to be. And obviously, look,
deservedly so.
We'll all sell our soul eventually. I'm just making a joke, but like back when I used to sell my pages for $100 or $200, I'm just like, oh, this is not worth it. Like, I would rather keep this page because it means so much more to me than a few $100.
Right.
Yeah, every time I've seen someone critique why, blank artists' original art sells for so much, my explanation has always been, well, that guy obviously doesn't need to be selling his work anymore. So if he's going to sell these pages that he spent all this time working on, then wouldn't you think it has to be worth it for him to sell it? Like, it has to be worthwhile for him to say, okay, yeah, I will sell my work that I created.
Yeah, and it's not even like, I mean, back when I didn't want to sell pages for a couple hundred, man, I could have used that money for sure. But it's still, and then I'm holding something in my hand, and I just have all these memories attached to it. And I'm just like, I don't want to give away this page for $200. I just don't want it. I would love $200, but like, it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah.
And like, I think, I feel, I mean, I don't even know if this is true, but like, I hear that like some artists in Japan, like, they don't even sell original art because there's something about it, like it's part of them. They'll gift it, but they don't give it away because there's something about it. And I kind of can get that. I don't think my soul's in anything, but like, I don't know. I just see the happiness and pain and time and just like, it's weird. I can only imagine being a movie actor and like watching a movie and thinking of everything but the story. Like, and that's when I look at my page, I'm like, I have a pretty good memory. I can tell you what I was probably eating when I drew it.
Whoa.
Like, I can remember everything.
What were you eating when you drew the Florida trailer park?
Florida trailer park? Man, I remember drawing this issue quite clearly.
What about like when Catwoman's crawling up to Bruce in the bed?
I knew you were going there.
What was on the menu that evening?
No comments.
This is something I wanted to ask you about. Because this story that originally you and Tom were building to be part of the Batman run, but then it became its own separate thing to where it's now coming out on Black Label. Does that give you any more the chance to operate with more freedom to go wherever you want the story to go, or are you just inclined that you're staying with what you were going to do prior?
You look, if you're coming to Black Label because you want to see sex and super crazy stuff, you're not getting that. That's not what I do. And someone might argue with what I'm drawing, but like, yeah, I just, you'll never see that stuff from me. You won't see nipples, you won't see, I'm not trying to go crazy. And even if Tom asks for that, I will not do it. I'll hide it in shadows.
That does remind me of a tweet I saw from Tom. So someone had tweeted something about Batcat just before issue.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah.
if Batman and Catwoman fuck in this, I'm gonna buy it. And Tom quote tweeted it and said, "Batman and Catwoman fuck in this."
Yeah.
I read that and I just was like, I'm not liking this or retweeting this because again, it goes against.
Sounds like you're gonna break your rule, buddy.
What was my rule?
I don't know. That we're not gonna get it in Black Label.
Oh no, I'm just like, I'm not. That's not. Look, I get what Tom's saying because if you read the book, there's scenes where they're clearly about to, So what? If you want it to pretend it's PG, they're about to kiss. They're about to lay in bed. But like, it's like if someone throws a punch in a comic, you don't actually see the punch, but you know what happens or is about to happen, and of course they're about to make love. So what Tom's saying isn't untrue. If you think that you're getting Clayman drawing a sex scene, well, you're an idiot. Just not happening. Whether it's Black Label or not, you're not getting that from me. I still think comics are comics.
What about Crosby, Montana, though? Will he draw that?
Yeah, he's a Mormon. So.
It's got an extra layer then. Do you think then, like, so that's a good point. Like, I guess you knowing the process, when like Jim Ballant draws like massive nipples, like, do you think that's in the script or that's just all him?
The old Catwoman dude?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. I don't even know what he draws. I don't know any comics that show nipples. I'm talking about just nipples to a T-shirt. I won't do that.
Yeah, that's
But like you're allowed. You can do that. It's just I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's I like that you're going to stick to what you feel is right and not be swayed because it's what someone wants in the project.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. Yeah, I will not do that. But like, and I get blamed for my stuff being too sexy all the time, and it's just like whatever. Like Clay just draws cheesecake. Clay's not allowed to draw women, and I'm just like.
But I think
Again, I draw comics 10 years too late.
I think that you're not going to bend to that makes it justified if we refer to Tom as the Higgins to your Magnum.
Well, I have women friends, and they look at my comics or people who work and help sell the art and with my art dealers. And look, they're not embarrassed by what I draw. They think it's awesome. They love it, and they're just like, those are the girls I'm listening to.
Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter listening to anybody hating on me. I don't care what they say. I just don't care.
Good for you, because that's the right attitude. Obviously in Batcat, this is the first time that we're going to see the Phantasm in actual comics, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's another character that's also from the animated series. Was that your idea, or did you request Sewer King in this, or was that just say, hey, if we're going to do Phantasm, let's break out some more of the animated series villains?
No, that's Tom.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about that. No, because I suggested early on, maybe a year ago, I suggested to Tom bringing in Grey Ghosts. And
yes.
Tom's like, no. So no. And then I saw that Sean and his wife were using him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was Tom. I had nothing to do with that. The only other character I asked maybe when we were talking story was bring in Grey Ghost, and that was nixed. So
why was it nixed? By him?
Yeah, just Tom said no. I mean, he gave me a reason, but I'm not sure I can really go into it without like kind of
spoiling,
giving away plot. I guess there was just something in the story. I'm like, well, we could use him to do this, and Tom's just like, no, I think that's just too many people, and how do I explain that? And I'm like,
okay. So we know who to blame now. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, I slipped in a little when Tom said I slipped in a little something later. Grey Ghost is in it in a very pathetic way, but he's in issue 3 in some capacity.
Cool.
Okay.
But
something to look forward to.
Well, not really, but
so for something like that, like let's say he would say yeah, like let's say that whatever he liked the idea. Do you guys have to like talk to DC about like using that character? Because I know you had someone along the lines was like, oh, I don't know if we can use Phantasm. So you were like, fuck it, and you waited in line and asked Paul Dini, and he was like, yeah. Like what would be like, because Batcat's a big title. What would be like the stipulation with using a character? Are they not supposed to be in another book or something?
Yeah, I mean, for sure that happens. I don't know if Tom wrote it in a script. I would assume the editors and all of them are doing that work. Porky's, the bar from Tom's Elmer Fudd thing. Well, that's an issue 2, and I drew it exactly like Lee Weeks did, with Porky the Pig's face on the front of the bar. And as the issue's being colored, I had to do a patch because I can't use Porky Pig anymore. So like, there's just some crazy. There's just a lot of. I don't know. I don't really know all the rules, but yeah, I don't think you can just assume that this character was on a cartoon that the WB owns and you're welcome to use it. I just don't think it's that easy.
Yeah. All right. Has there been anything else? Well, you said you read up to number 7. Like, how far into the series have you gotten, like, as far as work-wise?
Not past 7.
Jeez, Tom, that was a stupid question.
I mean, technically, they're all stupid questions that we ask, so I thought I was safe.
Now, what I'm really interested in, and this was, this is kind of shocking, so Selena Kyle goes and visits this old man in a Florida trailer park, and she starts talking to him about his grandchildren.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And if this comes out later, if this is part of the plot, just stop me. But I really want to know more about these grandchildren, and because at the end of the book we see who this old man is. Are we going full spoiler or not?
Yeah, we already spoiled it.
Okay. Do you know who Joker's grandchildren are?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Do you want to know?
Yes.
And they're playing out, and they're going to be included in this 12-issue story.
Oh, well, I'm kind of half joking with you. In those picture frames are Tomeu's family.
Oh,
yeah, that's actually his. I told him to put photos of his family or something there. So,
that's cool.
That's Tomeu in there with his kids, I think.
Awesome.
To be honest, I'll tell you, if they come into play, I don't think they're not going to come into play as far as I know.
Okay.
And whether they even exist, I don't know.
That's
You'd have
a good
to ask
point.
Tom if the Joker's just a liar.
Yeah.
So
Or
I don't
like,
know.
If it's
what if-
sure, that could have just been a house that he strolled up to, murdered the occupants, and now just pretends that the people.
Yeah, I mean, there's blood under a welcome carpet.
Yeah.
That blood's not explained, and I don't think it ever will be. So yeah, I mean, who knows?
Good point. Good point.
This might not even be his house.
That's brilliant, because that kind of ties back to that little one-shot story that you and Tom did, where Joker was waiting for the wedding invitation and killed the guy. I told you in person when we met in Dallas. I don't know if you remember, but that is seriously one of my favorite Joker stories, because that you truly captured the essence of Joker in that story. Just the artwork alone.
I have such a hard time drawing that guy.
Me too.
Joker?
Yeah, he's hard.
You know what's my favorite Joker that you've ever done is the one, I think it was the variant. I think, man, you had a couple of issue 50 variants, if that's what that was, but the one where he's dressed up like a priest and he's the officiant for Batman and Catwoman.
Oh yeah.
That's like my favorite Joker face you've ever done. It's like the hair.
Hey Charles.
Oh shit.
Charles.
Yeah. Yes,
Charles,
sir.
where you at? Charles, you there?
Yeah.
See, that's what a compliment sounds like. Because I actually
There's
drew
explosions
that
right
cover.
there.
That's duly noted. That's fair. We're even.
Oh man, that's funny.
But that is really cool. That's Tomeu's family in the photos. I love when real life makes it into comics. It's sort of, I don't want to say it doesn't draw me out of the story, but it just adds this other element to, like, during, I forget what issue it was, but during Tom's run, there was one of the issues that Jorge Fornes did. It might have been the annual issue or something, but there was a page where Bruce was in one of the hallways in Wayne Manor, and there was a family photo on the wall of Thomas, Martha, and young Bruce. And his Thomas Wayne really looked like someone. So when we had him on the show, I asked him, "Is that a picture of John Krasinski from The Office?" And he said, "Yes, it is." So he drew John Krasinski as Thomas Wayne. That was just really cool.
You kind of did that with Magnum PI for that one issue.
Yeah.
What did I do with Magnum PI?
Made Batman look like him.
It's like some of those
matches Malone.
Hey, do you like the new Magnum PI episodes?
I started one episode. I started the very first episode, and I was like, I mean, I'll be fair. I gave the first episode like 10 minutes. It just, I don't know. I would have to try it. I would have to try it. I don't think it'll ever compare, because things I love about that show are like, Tom Selleck and Roger Mosley and the guy who plays, I just love the actors. Like, I love the house. None of that stuff is in the show. So, I might appreciate it for a new show, but it'll never. I just can't look at that guy and see Magnum. Just can't.
Yeah, they shouldn't call it Magnum PI, and that's like, I was stuck. I should say stuck. I visited some family for the Thanksgiving holiday. I had 2 weekends, 2 Thanksgivings to go to, and late night watching TV. Magnum PI, the new Magnum PI came on. I was like, this is not Magnum PI. And then after that came on, what's the guy? MacGyver. There's a new MacGyver. I was like, this is not MacGyver.
Is this on CBS?
How dare they? I don't know what it was. It was terrible.
Does Magnum PI even have a mustache in the new one?
No.
You're not even. You're not even allowed to do that.
Not even in November, he didn't have a mustache.
You're not allowed to do what?
Not have a mustache?
Yeah, I just can't get into that show. Ask Mitch. He watches everything CBS.
Yeah, that's so weird. He does.
And all his military shows and whatever.
I don't think there's a show Mitch dislikes.
That's like a.
How does he get any work done?
I watch TV when I draw.
I don't understand how you guys can do that.
And all the
I cannot do it to something like, I'll watch reruns. I'll watch my favorite shows that I've watched 1,000 times because I know the characters. I don't have to look up. That's when I watch things more than once. Like if I'm watching a new movie or something, like I can't stop watching. Yeah, I can't watch that. But
does that kind of help you kind of get in a creative rhythm? Because
I'm not really a music guy.
Yeah.
So like I know some people listen to music. I mean, I just can't do dead silence. I'll go insane. Yeah. So that's just my background, is just something playing.
He says that he listens to podcasts while he draws. I don't understand how you can focus like hearing a conversation like that.
I do that too. I listen to like murder podcasts and true crime, but I run out and I go back to TV.
But like, are you actually able to like listen to it? Like it's not distracting you enough to
100% can listen to it.
Wow, man, that's like some crazy dexterity thing I think that like artists have, where like you can like tap your stomach and rub your head or something, because I'll fall out of my chair if I try to do something like that.
I know I write while listening to something because I would end up writing out the words I was hearing.
Oh, you simpletons, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. That's why you're the comic artist, and that's why we're the comic reader.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a ton of things I cannot do when I'm drawing, but listening to a podcast, yeah, I can.
Wow.
But it also has to be like super interesting for my mind, because I will just, my mind will go somewhere else if it's not holding my interest.
Mm.
I am constantly thinking about things other than my drawing.
So we have a guy that's not on the episode. He has two things that he wanted us to ask you. I think you probably met him in San Diego also. His name's Jason. He's a big original art collector. He like just, tries to get original pages and stuff. So he really, he's actually was bothering you on our Twitter. He was the one that was DMing you about I think asking how to buy a page out of Bad Cat. So he wants to know that. And he also asked if you're an ass man.
No, he's Clayman.
This is you know what's funny is anybody who asks that just means they find my drawings attractive, and then I start to worry about them.
He does
Really?
worry about him.
Well, can I tell you that he's I don't know if this should worry you, but I mean, he does very much enjoy your art, but he's also one of those dudes that like collects like that, like what's a good way of saying this, Gramps, without like
the lewd stuff?
Yeah, the lewd stuff. He likes like the Bruce, you know how Bruce Timm has like that pinup stuff that he does?
Yeah.
He likes that kind of stuff too. So
yeah, I couldn't hang that on my wall.
Yeah.
No, it's like people see stuff in my art that doesn't even register to me. But so if he was serious about buying something, yeah, I have an art dealer. You can go to my Instagram or Twitter. It's right up there at the top.
Cool.
And yeah, I like the whole body. So
like you are really good at drawing like super like fit physiques.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that you like do for inspiration to like, do you look at like bodybuilders? Do you look like fitness dudes? Like, how do you make, like, cause your Batman is like the way that you want, if you want to be Batman, like, oh, it's how I want to fucking look, with broad chest, big, like, you're not like a freak. Like you look like, he looks like one of those dudes that's just like super fit. And then like just every body that you draw is kind of like that. It's like the physical peak perfection. Like how do you get that inspiration, like to draw that?
It's a mix of just, it's a mix of like some reference, bodybuilder stuff, and also like, I know people that, are pretty fit, and then I mix it up with just, imagination, and, you asked me my favorite artist, like Jim Lee. I'm like, a lot of the artists I've grown up with, like, I just feel like my favorite artists draw attractive people. And I don't know, like, I think that plays into what I've learned and what I try to do. So
I really like these suits, like the modern version suits that you drew in this episode. They're a little bit different than what's going on with like the main comic. Can you talk about how you came up with some of the designs and your decisions on those?
Well, I read the script and I'm like, oh my God, we need something that shows Catwoman different, like when the time changes. Because, it's jumping through time.
Mm-hmm.
And also selfishly, I'm like, because originally in the script, I think, so you guys, you notice how it connects off Tom's annual books.
Mm-hmm.
So originally, Catwoman was going to be, her two looks were going to be, I believe, probably Jor-El's. And then the second look was in the annual that Lee Weeks drew, where she was kind of in a gray suit. It's the one where she likes breaking into the mansion and she jumps out. I don't know. It's kind of gray, but it's full body. And I'm just like, they're not similar, but I don't know. Like, what? When they put this book to the side, I'm just like, why can't? I'm like, I just want to do my own thing. Like, if this is my book, people get all this fun making new costumes and stuff. I'm like, let me just do my own.
Why not?
And then like, so Batgirl and Batwoman, I mean, in the annual where Bruce Wayne dies, she has cancer. You'll see her in the classic Batwoman costume that's red and black with the red. But her hair is different. But it's the one that has the red emblem, like kind of like the TV show is going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm just like, Helena's never been a Batwoman, and why would you give her that costume? Because other Batwomen have had it. There's no connection there to me that makes any sense. So I'm like, I'll make my own. So she has her own costume coming up. But and a lot of people might hate them, but it's for me. It's my book. It's my vision. I'm gonna be super selfish, and I'm just gonna do what I want to do. As long as DC says it's okay, and they have so far. So,
cool.
That's pretty much it.
That's the way it should be. I like the Selena costume design in this, that it has some of the animated series look to it. That's what so many people want to see anyway. So you're doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, people. I think it's funny because, like, back when I was on here last time, there was some jokes about me beating Sean to Mask of the Phantasm, and like I drew this costume a long time ago. I made that costume up, and then he goes and changes it for his little series he did with, is it Blake Northcott, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so funny because like him and I are clearly huge fans of the show over comics, and I just see like it's just funny. Like I want to use Grey Ghost, he uses Grey Ghost, and it's like you could just tell we both love the cartoon. And so yeah, I do love the cartoon, and I'm doing Phantasm. I wanted to bring in that costume. I also wanted to look like Batman made her a costume. Instead of like, she's just wearing leather and that's it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but she even kind of has her own little side utility pockets, and
I like that.
It's like I wanted to show her face. I'm not too sure how much I like the goggles anymore. I feel like I might rip them off in a future issue and have her throw a different mask on. We'll see. I don't know.
What's your favorite? I don't know if we've asked you this before. Maybe the last time. The animated series, I think like all of us kind of came up on it around the same time, so it's like one of our favorites. But like, what are some of the aesthetically pleasing Batman movies that you would like?
What are some of the movies I would like?
Yeah, like it doesn't even have to be like, because people either love or hate the story, but they look cool. Even the shitty ones have really cool designs. Like, is there any movies of the Batman movies that like you probably think like, yeah, that looks sick?
Give me an example, because I'm confused by the question. Sorry. So you think
he wants to know which
it was a pretty bad question. I'm not.
He wants to know which.
It's weird. I think every franchise that started had it best and then got worse. So with Michael Keaton, I like that one. And then I'm not even going to go into the Val Kilmer, George Clooney stuff. But so with Begins, I loved it because it had a thick neck. I'm sorry, but when they start taking Batman's thick neck away in the newer ones, I think he looks like a wimp.
Like a little peanut head, right?
I don't need him to turn his neck, and he's an actor, and they make movies, so just shoot the shots with a thick neck. I don't care. Don't turn your neck. I don't care. I'm sorry, but like, you will not find a strong-looking character in a comic with a neck thinner than their cheeks. You just don't. So when you do that on film, all I think is you're a wimp. And I'm actually kind of like really digging the Pattinson Batman. But they also put a collar on him, which again, a collar is at the neck. His neck looks thick. Like, it's a trick, but he just looks, I don't know. I'm like like some of the mask looks a little different, but the whole aesthetic of that, I think I'm gonna love it.
Interested to see what the second costume looks like for that movie.
What do you mean? You think Batman will get a new costume?
Well, it seems to be the consensus. Like back before the pandemic shut everything down, there was a dude that popped up on Reddit or something who was, saying he couldn't say who he was, but he said that he was working on set building and stuff like that where they were shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He started describing some things that he had NDAs and everything, so he wasn't supposed to reveal. That was why he was anonymous. But when he first started putting this information out, everyone was like, okay, well, maybe this guy is legit, maybe he isn't, so we can't really just take anything he's saying as gospel. But when we first saw the trailer that they put out for it, it really revealed something that he had talked about, because the guy started saying, okay, so the bat suit that they've shown you pictures of and that you've seen set videos of the stuntman wearing, that's the first suit that Batman built for himself when he became Batman. But in the early part of the movie, there's going to be an explosion that destroys the suit, and he's going to switch over to another suit that he had already been creating for himself. So then, nobody knew if that guy was legit or not, but then the trailer comes out, and what do we see happen? Batman gets blown up. So that really convinced a lot of people, okay, well, that this guy must be legit, and we are going to see this other costume.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. I'm totally like, the second they said Pattinson, I was already hooked.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be great no matter what he's.
Because I've seen movies he's in that he's just great. I can tell. I feel like there's some people on your end that aren't so happy.
A couple, I think.
But I don't know, what? The couple, or what are they? Well, like Ben Affleck?
Well,
don't make
for me, like you said, when someone has a small little neck, they look like a wimp. That's kind of how I feel about Patty.
No, they gave him that nice thick cut. No, he doesn't look like a wimp at all. Are you kidding me? You watched the preview?
This is where we get into it.
Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors. Yeah, exactly what Batman wants to be. Smoke and mirrors. The Dark Knight. The guy who comes out of shadows.
Gramps likes his Batman nice and thick.
Like a big old thick.
Texas.
Big old thick.
No, here I do like, and I do understand that this is supposed to be kind of a very young Bruce Wayne Batman. So of course it makes sense that he's not, experienced and like the Affleck version, the Frank Miller inspired version. I get it. That makes sense. And I do like some of the artwork that portrays him in that thing. But I don't know. I'm not feeling it. And that's okay. Everyone has their opinions and their taste. I just want a good movie.
I think you'll get a good movie. I think you'll get good acting, which I think is even better.
I'm really interested in seeing how Colin Farrell pulls off the Penguin, because what they've shown and how they've, put makeup on him, I'm like,
I feel like he's just gonna be a mobster or not a mobster, but yeah. I mean, but again, Colin Farrell, I didn't like him when he first came on the scene, but I don't know, he's proved himself to be a good actor in my book.
Yeah. I know it didn't get really good reviews as much as the other seasons, but that season that he did of True Detective, his character that he plays, he plays this drunk asshole cop, and good. He's perfect.
No, he's a good actor. Guy's a good actor.
Yeah.
One thing about is the nature of the bat suits themselves. Unless you put a suit on a guy who is really big and thick, Affleck's a huge dude, so he looks big, and the style of the suit they did helps that. But look at Christian Bale in his Batman movies, how big he looks when he's shirtless doing push-ups versus how big he looks when he's in the suit. The suit is so slimming on him.
Yeah, I just don't like the neck. And Ben Affleck, look, I I liked him as Bruce Wayne in Batman v Superman. And he lost some weight and he looked good. I thought he looked cool. The suit wasn't my favorite, but I thought he made a good Batman. Then in Justice League, I'm like, the dude stopped going on a diet. He looked plumpy. I hated the goggle suit. It started to look like armor, which I cannot stand when they start going into the armor. Or, I just don't like it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, everybody has their own. I've never really liked a huge Batman. Like even when I draw him, I feel like I've been kind of slimming him down a bit, because that's just not really. I'm more into like Neil Adams and Jim Lee doesn't even draw him that big.
Do you watch the show American Ninja Warrior?
I've seen it.
It's an athletic obstacle course.
Yeah.
You draw a Batman that looks like he would compete on that show, which is great because he's well built, but he's still athletic and he's still limber enough to do what he needs to do in a suit that has a heavy cape behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that makes sense because having a Batman who has a physique that looks like he could jump off the roof of a building and swing from a wire, as opposed to a Batman who looks like he's 6'5" and 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Well, I used to draw him thicker, or I tried, and I'm just like, I just don't like it. Just doesn't feel right to me. And then I don't know. If you look at how I drew Bruce Wayne in Batman, in Tom's run to this Batcat, like I just changed it because I'm like, now's my chance to try to make it feel a little bit more like natural for me. Yeah, I don't know. I just I'm not into big bulky Batman. I'm into I don't know. Whatever I'm doing, I'm kind of into.
Clay, what's your favorite Batmobile that you like to imagine in your head when you're drawing these characters?
Burton one for sure.
Yeah, same here.
Hell yeah, dude.
But then again, yeah, Burton. I even think of that one as simple. I just like a simple one. I'm not into like the tanks or all the flair to it. I'm Burton for sure.
Yeah, it's just the perfect design. It's just very sleek and timeless.
Animated too. That's totally different, and it's just as good.
Yeah,
nice and sleek.
Same thing going on, with the fact that it's elongated and it looks very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a bullet, like
simple.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I'm curious. When you see the Pattinson one, it's definitely a little Mod Podge, but I think it'll evolve.
I at least like how it's like a car, though. It's just a car. I'm not looking at a tank. I'm not looking at. I don't know. Like I love Christopher Nolan to death. Like I saw Tenet. I love it. I love his films. I think that thing worked for his movie, but it would never be on my top list of favorite ones.
And it's really adds to this perception that the Batmobile is supposed to be this giant tank kind of thing.
Yeah, in the movie it made sense because it's like all the tech they were using and making, and it's like, wow, this will just be my Batmobile. It made sense.
Yeah.
But like, I think in terms of comics, and I would never want to draw that thing.
Oh man, so many angles.
I really wouldn't want comics to have a Batman who, got all of his stuff, his suit and his tech and his Batmobile and everything, stuff that was made by Wayne Enterprises for the military, and the military didn't want it.
He stole it. Batman's a thief.
Yeah, but again, I was fine for that in the movie, and it's not my favorite idea, but it was a new one. Like it just wasn't something I was expecting when the movie came out, and I liked it at the time.
I like the stuff, everything but the tumbler. I really like the bat, that thing that he has in the third one, that he's flying around with, and then the bat pod, the little cycle. I like those two things way more than the tumbler. Those two things were really sick. And he looks badass in them.
Yeah. I mean, when the movie came out, I was like, oh, these are the best. And then just when, things fade and they're just, at the time I loved them, but they're just, they're not my ideal.
Did you see any of the Matt Reeves Ape movies?
8 movies?
Ape,
Oh,
Planet
8.
of the Ape.
Oh yeah, I saw him before Batman. That's why when they picked him, I'm like, if this dude can make me like monkeys and like,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of war movies. Like, I just don't like, I get kind of bored when you just have like war stuff
Mm-hmm.
or the idea of war, or just like post-apocalyptic. I don't know, that kind of stuff bores me. But I was like, I did like those movies a lot, and I'm just like, man, give this guy Batman.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing it, because especially the last one he did was like a total war movie, but he kind of had that thread of like, I mean, I guess like when you break them down, they're about like family and like protecting your family, which I think is what made people kind of really like relate to it. And I remember thinking like, dude, like these aren't even like humans, and like this is a great story. Like I wish people would kind of watch those movies and give it a chance for like, if he can make something this good about like apes, imagine the story he could do with Batman.
I mean, when they picked him, I'm like, yes. When they picked Pattinson, I'm like, man, that dude's got some good movies, and I'm just like, yes, like I'm all for this.
Yeah, it's a big change for certain people to go from a big thick Batman, and then kind of back to like Christian Bale, more of like a fit, sleek dude. But yeah, I think.
Well, I also like the idea that they're picking someone younger too, because I'm like, I'm just tired. Like, I mean, how many movies do you expect Ben Affleck to do? I mean, he got fat in the second movie he did. Come on.
To his credit, I don't know if I'm not sure how much you know. All the stuff from Justice League, almost like 90% of what he's in are reshoots after he got called back. So, I mean, he kind of let himself go because I don't think he thought he was going to have to come back and reshoot. But the stuff that's coming out, the Zack Snyder stuff, that's supposedly like all the original thin footage that he filmed. So he's supposed to look better at it.
I mean, he looks good now in real life.
But yeah, man.
I mean, I know he was dealing with like, he had a lot of
I forgot about that.
Personal stuff going on.
Yeah, I'm sure that all factored into it. I just don't like a thick Batman. So, I'm sorry, one of you, Gramps. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay, it sounds like you would be the one, Gramps. Okay.
Those Texas guys, I don't know.
Everything's bigger in Texas, so yeah, we like bigger Batman.
Well, I think we did enough of the.
I don't know about you guys.
Let's go back to Batman Catwoman. If we're just gonna sum up what people should expect from Batman Catwoman as far as your end of it, what would you tell people to expect from the remaining 11 issues of this story?
From my end,
yeah.
I'm gonna try to,
for the story, but
I'm trying to do the best I can in the time I have, and I don't know. I mean, God, I feel like an artist's job is kind of simple. I don't really know what else to say. I hope. I mean, I can kind of talk about the story a little bit. I mean, look, there's 5 of you listening. Robin, you'd always do these speed rounds to your guests. I'm gonna do a speed round. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's flipping the script. I like that.
I'm gonna do this super fast so no one can think about it. Okay, but I'm gonna go through Robin, Tom, Grant, Steve, and Charles. Actually, we can skip Charles.
Damn, redemption.
Okay. I want you to spit them out pretty quick. 1 through 10, you're rating for Batman and Catwoman. Number 1, and be honest. Robin.
Issue 1.
Oh my God, just a number, buddy.
Okay. Get to explain it. Okay, no. I can do it there. Okay, I'm gonna go 8.
Tom.
7.9.
Steve.
8.
Gramps.
8.2.
Charles.
8.1.
One of you are liars.
No, I really like the fact that when you pointed out that the blood under the welcome mat, that was never explained. That really bumped it up even more. I like the fact that Joker, that adds that mystery to Joker, and I really like that.
Robin, were you the lowest? Why is Charles your 8.1? Like, I'm going to forget that you love Olivier.
Yeah.
I'll explain that mine was the only reason I only give it 8. I think I will be higher on issue 2 because I went in not knowing that we were going to have these time jumps, and I felt a little bit jarred by it because I'm like, whoa, what's going on? We're in the future.
Wait, are we judging the book, or are we judging just the art of the book?
No, the book.
Good
Yeah,
point.
okay, all right, because I would give the art higher. To be honest.
Yeah,
No,
Tom's bringing you down, dude.
I assumed it was a book question.
Yeah, no, the
Yeah.
book's really good, but the art is on.
So no one minded the time jumps and all that? I know, Robin, you were just saying something.
Yeah, that was the only, I just felt jarred just because it took me a little bit into the book to say, okay, so this is following this timeline, and then we're getting looks at following annual number 2, and okay, and now I'm up to speed on what's going on.
It's Tom. We're used to Tom King. We know he's going to bounce around all over the place, and that comes with the territory when you're reading a Tom King book, so it's fine.
My only regret is I wish I would have given present day Selena and past Selena a different haircut.
Hey, can I ask the round table, does anyone have a favorite panel that Clay drew? Because mine is when Bruce is sitting with Andrea in front of the fireplace.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I have it open on my desktop. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Mine is hands down right at the end of the issue when the Phantasm mask is she's sitting on the bed, and she has retrieved the suit from the cemetery, and it's there on the bed beside her.
It's like the Ghost of Christmas Past or something like that. Got those vibes. You know?
Someone just came in real quick. Speaking of ratings.
Oh, here we go.
You're going to drop their rating.
Oh,
shit.
Grumpler.
Oh, shit. Grump.
Wait, do you want to ask him?
Is Grumpler here? Yeah, give me. I want to know what he says.
Shit.
Out of 10.
I'm off. I work Thursday night. I'm off tonight.
Did you read back yet?
Hang him up. He's drunk.
I feel like I'm on a roller coaster watching him.
Jesus Christ. I work Thursday night.
My favorite panel is actually a small panel. It's where Batman and Catwoman are leaping off the roof.
Is Clay still on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Clay just asked you to rate the book from 1 to 10, Grump.
Clay, Legends of Lego Batman wants to.
We covered that.
Oh, you covered that?
You're coming in hot, Grumps. Jesus.
How drunk are you?
No, I'm good, bro. No, I'm not that drunk. I had some whiskey and eggnog. And
John. Grumps up.
Hey, Grumps, I'm Clay Mann. I'm your guest.
Yeah, no, I get it. Let's like one hand washes the other here. I buy your comic books.
Okay, did you like it?
I liked it. It was cool. Look, Clay, I mean,
no, the story too.
Your part of the situation was great. It was amazing.
What do you think of the story? 1 through 10.
Grumps just wants to drink his whiskey.
Yeah, I just want to drink my whiskey. I mean,
no, man. Everybody else already did.
That's very funny.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've had my fill of, man, I don't know even how to put this. How can
Sounds
I put
like
it nicer?
A 5
or less. What's a number, dude?
What?
I did.
You want a number?
My feelings. You said you liked the art.
Yeah, the art was amazing.
I'm sorry.
Mann and Jason Fabok are amazing at what they do.
All right.
I mean,
That's good enough.
you held up your end of the argument, you know.
Nice.
Cool. Look, you fucking all right. Clay Mann fucking drawing Batman and Catwoman is, you know, that's amazing. I'm not Batforce Times. I will not confuse you with Olivier Coipel. You know, so I know what I'm talking about, no matter how many drinks I've had. So trust me when I tell you, Clay Mann, you're.
Why weren't you here from the beginning?
Charles. Okay, Clay. I was
Charles
watching this movie on Amazon Prime called The Lie, and it's a terrible movie. Don't watch it. It was free, but I was watching with Mrs. Grumps. And,
I'm so glad he showed up drunk.
I mean, you know, I worked Thursday night, you know, with Gramps. We worked Thursday night. We did the Grumps and Gramps show, which I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen it, Clay?
What is it?
This is a yes or no question. So
they do. Gramps do their own podcast.
I read Clay's comic books, but Clay doesn't watch my show.
I do not watch your show.
Good plug for Grumps and Gramps, by the way. YouTube exclusive. Check it out now.
Episode 8 coming up.
Honestly, I was watching this movie called The Lie, and it was pretty terrible. But yeah, I'm here now. And Clay Mann is an amazing artist. The art was great. The story was okay. Let's say 6 out of 10. How's that?
There you go.
Okay.
Gramps. What was the panel you said was your favorite?
If I never read Bat Cat again, I'll be okay.
6 out of 10 is a good grade to get.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's good, but it's like, all right, with the Bat Cat. Oh, dude. We're going on 4 years now of this.
I get you. I understand.
Yeah.
I draw it.
Me and you were there, Clay.
What's your favorite panel? Or one of them?
There was, I guess, a full page spread that you did, but I bought it on digital and I read it Tuesday morning. So I haven't picked up what I've been doing since the pandemic started is buying digital Tuesday mornings and waiting a while to pick up like the paper copy. So I haven't done that yet. So I've only read it I read it Tuesday morning, and I couldn't honestly tell you what my favorite panel was, but
I believe you.
There was one. Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. The whiskey is doing most of the talking, but. No, there was one full page.
I know which one it is.
Yeah, I mean, DC cut us off with the free shit, but I bought it, Clay.
You guys don't get this stuff anymore?
No,
dude. Pandemic killed it.
They haven't gotten back to sending out the previews, but yeah, if you want to slide me over issue 2 PDF.
Which we were getting the free shit and still buying it, on day one, but
because we can get the review episode out early.
That was a perfect situation because we were getting the PDFs on Friday or Saturday, usually on Friday, sometimes even on Thursday, right? And that let us read the issues, and we recorded our review episodes on Saturday night, and then we put them out the day that the issue came out, and it was a perfect situation. But we just haven't been able to do that since books started.
I think honestly, what happened was I think they fired some of the staff that was putting that stuff together, which is kind of sad.
And yeah, that's probably what happened.
Clark Bull, I know, already did like 4 or 5 people's jobs, and now with the other people that they've let go since then, he's probably doing like 6 to 8 people's jobs.
Yeah. Clay.
Yes.
I don't want to understate this because I really think you deserve the credit for it. So I have to echo Charles. The standout page or panels for sure are that I think it's maybe page 2 or 3 where Andrea and Bruce are in his study, and I really think like that library behind him, the books, the bookcases, like how you talked about the colors, especially in that page, like that's like fucking, that was great.
Did you see that weird framed picture right above Bruce's head, Tom? That's really interesting. Well, who's in that picture? No, who is that?
This is why I like doing this, because we dig a little deeper. Is it the one in between the two of them?
No, it's above Bruce's head. In
who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
you won't get it. You won't.
That panel, that spread made me think of the Mitch Gerard's the one with Bruce and Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time like Bruce had somebody sitting opposite, I guess it's like a study or whatever, right?
Wait, so
that was really cool.
We
you
won't
see
get
the little face though.
We won't guess the face
I don't think you will.
because it's somebody that like you guys know. It's like a little nod within yourselves.
I put it in there.
That's cute. Who is it?
Do you want to just me to tell you or want to guess?
Well, you said I'm not going to be able to
guess.
know it.
Well, you can go for clue. You can ask me questions.
All right. Is it is it a young child?
It's not a human.
What the fuck?
It's not a human.
Does that look like a human?
No, that's why I look like a kid, maybe like a fat kid.
I've heard it for
Who
5
would
days.
Bruce have?
So it's just eyes and nose and a mouth in that picture.
Is it a cat? Yeah, is it a cat?
Is it that detective monkey guy?
It's not comics.
Oh, what?
It's a classic movie.
Planet of the Apes?
No.
Is it
It's not Magnum PI. It's not
Beast from Beauty and the Beast?
It's a movie. It's a one and done movie.
Mr. Bogus.
It's a classic.
But like, what decade is the movie from?
Is it
80s?
Is it Bonzo from Bedtime from Bonzo?
Princess Bride has to be Princess Bride.
It's a creature.
Okay, I'm going to draw a parallel.
Wait,
so
what did you say?
I said a gremlin.
I would say the movie. It's not a gremlin, but you're getting closer.
Is it Gizmo?
Mogwai?
It's not a gremlin.
Mac and Me?
No.
I see a book on the shelf. I see a book on the shelf that says Ludo. Is it someone from Labyrinth?
It is. It's Ludo's face.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Good job, Robin.
And is that a Harley vase beside the picture?
It might be. I don't remember.
Got a diamond on it.
Oh,
that's Alfred's urn.
Sad. So okay, so Clay, so that was.
He did color the poinsettias green, and it's annoying.
Yeah, this man got a framed labyrinth thing in the study.
Wait, there's more labyrinth stuff that pops up in too.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. So that page was one of my favorites, and then the other one that was really good, and I can't tell if it's because of like the the jump factor or the surprise factor, but you did a really good dead kid in the Under the Bridge. Big fan of that.
Is that her son?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. That was crazy.
Yeah.
All bloated and dead and jokerized.
I love that like half spread where it shows the silhouette of Batman and Catwoman under the bridge. That's pretty bad. Pretty badass actually. That was cool.
Clay, please pass along our appreciation to Tomeu Morey, the colorist that you worked with on this, because
I just sent him an email the other day to thank him for his hard work.
Yes, because from page 1, I know that's Florida, just because I've been on that bridge.
Because you can smell the page.
Yeah, and then when you're in Gotham, and when you're in Wayne Manor, and everything about this, he
It was a good issue.
Yeah.
It was a solid 7.9 for sure.
He's not lazy.
I only gave it that low because I know just based off this one, I'm gonna like some of the other ones even more.
So this was a year in the making since it was supposed to be released. Robin, how did the numbers do for this book? This was the book of the month, right?
I haven't seen any of the numbers yet, to be honest. Like it just came out, so yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I know this is highly anticipated.
I saw a lot of people online who don't normally buy comics bought it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I even love it how, I told you my favorite panel was the one where they're leaping off the roof. Catwoman's in the foreground, Batman's in the background, but you can even see the snow is moving. That's some good stuff right there.
Yeah, Clayman's pretty good.
Yeah.
Clay, what issue are you working on now? Like, what are you up to?
Not past 7.
Yes, not past 7.
Oh, wow, okay. Awesome. Has this pandemic affected your work? Or are you just able to do what you normally do?
Not really. I mean, it's kind of.
He's gained weight. He says.
Gained weight. But no, I mean, it hasn't slowed me down, but it hasn't given me the free time people would think it might. Because then everything else is slowing me down just in real life because of the pandemic and stuff. So
I think it's a good idea that we have someone hop on 2 hours in drunk, because it gives us like this really good second interview.
This is wild accusation to me being drunk.
I'm saying it's good, whatever it is, whatever combo of sauce you got going on. It's like the perfect mixture. You just need some whiskey and a bad movie, and we got ourselves an episode.
Certainly a first.
Eggnog and a bad movie.
Yeah.
From now on, when we start recording at 9:30, I say we tell Grumps we're recording at 11. Just drop in, all sauced up, and just.
I thought I had the night off. I worked Thursday night.
I think we
top
should.
12, not even 10. I went top 12, a little extra.
There you go.
Gramps a little extra.
This is a good format to have.
We were supposed to have Jesus on Thursday night, but he. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
Clay, do you drink it all?
Christmas.
Huh?
Do you drink it all, Clay?
I've gained weight and become an alcoholic.
Join the club.
And been watching Labyrinth maybe more than once.
And I have chocolate milk in my refrigerator in case Robin shows up at my door.
Nice. I'll sneak across the border.
I think I was watching the Labyrinth when I was drawing that page. That's kind of usually how that kind of stuff happens.
Did Tom catch that?
Tom doesn't. Dude, I drew Tom on the front of Heroes in Crisis, and I had to point it out. No one catches that crap. I'm surprised someone took some. Was that Charles?
Yes, sir.
Charles, I appreciate you.
Wow.
I love you, Clay. Thank you. I've been pardoned. Thank you.